We open with a breathtaking cinematic panorama of the universe, vast galaxies stretching into the infinite, their spirals spinning slowly in the cosmic dark, each star glowing like a distant ember in the cold void. The narration poses a provocative question. What if everything we perceive, every particle, every planet, every moment, is merely a single frame in a boundless cosmic film that stretches beyond comprehension? Comets streak silently across nebulae, leaving ephemeral trails of dust and ice that shimmer like ghostly brushstrokes across a canvas of darkness. Black holes twist space-time itself, their immense gravity bending light and swallowing entire stars as if the universe is editing itself frame by frame, hiding its secrets in shadows we cannot yet reach. The camera pans through clusters of stars and collapsing supernovae, each explosion a fleeting burst of color and energy, a single spark in a story that spans billions of years. We are reminded that our eyes, limited as they are, capture only a fragment of what exists. Light takes eons to travel across these distances, and by the time it reaches us, we are seeing history frozen in motion, snapshots of events that occurred long before our own planet even existed. It is a humbling realization. We are observers of a past that is already gone, living in a moment that is itself already part of the cosmic archive. Shadows of dark matter ripple unseen through the void, invisible yet shaping galaxies, bending paths of light and matter alike, a silent director orchestrating the scene we perceive. Cosmic radiation hums like an omnipresent soundtrack, a faint whisper of energy that has traveled across unimaginable distances, connecting every corner of the universe. Even the vast emptiness between stars is alive with subtle motion, invisible winds of charged particles and magnetic fields weaving through space, shaping the destinies of stars, planets, and galaxies alike. Our own planet, a tiny blue dot suspended in the void, drifts silently among the stars. Oceans swirl, clouds spiral, and life teems on this seemingly insignificant sphere. Yet, it is a focal point in the story of consciousness, the stage upon which human curiosity unfolds. Each human heartbeat, each thought, each act of wonder or fear exists for a brief instant, a flicker in the grand cinematic sequence that stretches across time and space. The idea that we are part of this frame, that our existence is captured as one fleeting moment, both terrifies and inspires, creating a tension between fragility and significance. The narration draws attention to familiar imagery, the night sky above, the warmth of sunlight, the steady rhythm of our planet spinning in silence, but juxtaposes it with the incomprehensible vastness beyond. It asks, what if our reality is only a fraction of something far greater? What if every experience we know, every law of physics, every memory and dream, is merely one still image in an infinite reel? This contrast between what is familiar and what is unknowable sets the emotional tone, evoking awe, curiosity, and a subtle unease that propels the viewer forward. Stars are born and die in ways both violent and beautiful. Nebulae glow in colors beyond our perception, their gas and dust sculpted into intricate forms by forces we barely understand. Pulsars emit rhythmic signals like a metronome across the cosmos, counting time in a rhythm that dwarfs human lifespans. Galaxies collide in slow-motion dances that span millions of years, a choreography of destruction and creation captured in the cosmic frame. Each of these phenomena is a single frame in the universe's ongoing narrative, a moment frozen in motion, yet part of an eternal sequence. Even light itself becomes a character in this cosmic story. Photons traverse unimaginable distances, interacting with matter, bending under gravity, scattering through clouds of dust, all while carrying the information of the universe's history to the observers who await them. And as we watch, our understanding of what is real begins to stretch. If each photon is a carrier of a frame, each measurement an act of observation, could it be that reality itself is not continuous, but a carefully sequenced montage of moments, each dependent on consciousness to bring it to life? By the end of this section, The audience is drawn into the profound and cinematic idea that reality is both immense and intimate, terrifying in scale, yet personal in experience. The universe is presented as a story beyond comprehension, a visual epic that stretches across time, each frame a fragment of a narrative we are only beginning to glimpse. We are left with the lingering question: if this is just one frame, what stories exist in the infinite frames beyond our perception, and what might it mean for our understanding of life, existence, and the cosmos itself? The tension between the known and the unknown, the immediate and the eternal, sets the stage for the journey ahead, inviting the viewer to peer deeper into the mystery and wonder of existence. Delving into the nature of perception, this section contrasts the tangible world we experience with the hidden, possibly infinite layers beneath it. Through evocative imagery and philosophical reflection, it frames reality as both familiar and deceptive, setting up the tension between what is seen and what may exist beyond our comprehension. The camera slowly moves through familiar scenes: a bustling city street, a quiet forest, a sunlit ocean, then shifts suddenly to microscopic and cosmic scales, revealing structures and patterns invisible to the naked eye. It raises the question: how much of what we trust as real is merely a construct of our senses, shaped by evolution and biology, and how much remains forever out of reach? The narration weaves between sensory experience and theoretical speculation. Each leaf rustling in the wind, each reflection in a puddle, each subtle shift in shadow becomes a reminder of the fragility of perception. In the forest, sunlight filters through trees, casting patterns that shift with every movement, illustrating the idea that observation itself can alter reality. Then, zooming in, molecules vibrate and electrons dance, hinting at layers of existence operating under rules far removed from human intuition. The juxtaposition of the everyday and the quantum underscores the central paradox. Our perception is a narrow window into a vast, complex system we cannot fully comprehend. Philosophical perspectives are introduced through cinematic recreations. Plato's cave, with shadows flickering on a wall, symbolizes the limits of human understanding. Eastern philosophies suggest that reality is an illusion, a constantly shifting play of forms and consciousness. The narration contrasts these ideas with the comforting solidity of the physical world we navigate daily, creating a tension between the familiar and the enigmatic. Viewers are invited to question not only the world outside themselves, but the world within, the mind itself, as a lens that interprets, filters, and even fabricates the reality it perceives. Scientific exploration reinforces this tension. Experiments in perception, from optical illusions to quantum observation, are shown with high cinematic detail. A single photon's path splits and recombines, demonstrating that observation can define outcomes. Visual metaphors: a glass prism bending light, ripples in water responding to touch, illustrate how reality is fluid, contingent, and relational. The section emphasizes that the universe does not simply exist for us to see. Rather, it is constantly interacting with the act of observation, suggesting layers of reality that remain hidden until attention and consciousness engage with them. The narration also explores memory and experience as factors shaping perceived reality. Flashbacks and dreamlike sequences illustrate how our recollections reconstruct moments, rather than replay them faithfully, highlighting the brain's role in creating continuity where there may be none. This mirrors the broader cosmic frame. If human perception can reshape experience on a small scale, could the universe itself operate in a similar way, compressing vast events into snapshots, sequences, or frames that only reveal themselves under certain conditions? The contrast between subjective and objective reality is reinforced through visuals that shift seamlessly from microscopic cells to massive nebulae, connecting inner perception with outer cosmos. Throughout the section, tension is maintained by alternating moments of wonder and unease. Scenes of natural beauty, the shimmer of sunlight on water, the intricacy of a spider's web, are contrasted with disorienting sequences of distorted perspectives and impossible geometries, evoking a subtle fear that what we trust as stable may be unstable, and what we perceive as continuous may be fragmented. The narration questions the reliability of the senses, the limits of logic, and the assumptions that underlie everyday life, leaving the audience on edge while still enthralled. By the end of this section, the viewer is primed to consider that reality is not a simple, static entity, but a dynamic interplay between perception, consciousness, and the hidden structures that underpin existence. The familiar world is shown to be both a comforting illusion and a gateway to far deeper mysteries, setting the stage for exploration into history, philosophy, and cutting-edge science in the sections that follow. The tension between what we see and what may exist beyond our comprehension drives curiosity forward, compelling the audience to question their assumptions and prepare for the revelation that the universe might be far stranger than imagined, possibly a single frame in an infinite cosmic film. Tracing humanity's contemplation of infinity from ancient Greece to Eastern thought, this section paints a cinematic tapestry of philosophers, mystics, and visionaries wrestling with the same questions that modern science now confronts. The narration opens with a sweeping view of ancient landscapes, sun-drenched Greek temples perched on cliff edges, rivers reflecting the dawn, and shadowed monasteries nestled in misty mountains, evoking a sense of timeless human curiosity. Viewers are introduced to thinkers like Anaximander, who first envisioned boundless space, and Zeno, whose paradoxes challenge the very notion of motion and continuity. The section emphasizes the enduring human drive to grapple with the infinite, linking ancient speculation to the modern quest to understand the cosmos. The camera flows from philosophical dialogues in candlelit chambers to meditative practices in serene Eastern gardens. Greek, Indian, and Chinese philosophies are explored in vivid detail. The idea of an endless cosmos, cycles of creation and destruction, and the impermanence of all things. The narration juxtaposes these perspectives, highlighting both convergences and contrasts. Where Western thought pursued abstract reasoning and logical deduction, Eastern traditions often embraced paradox, meditation, and the fluidity of perception. Cinematic sequences illustrate these concepts, sand flowing endlessly in hourglasses, ripples spreading infinitely across serene ponds, and mandalas spinning in perfect, impermanent symmetry, symbolizing humanity's attempt to capture the infinite in finite forms. Mystical traditions are woven alongside philosophical inquiry. Hermetic texts, Sufi poetry, and Taoist teachings are presented as early explorations of the notion that reality may be more layered and illusory than it appears. The narration contrasts the human desire for certainty with the acceptance of mystery, evoking both awe and intellectual tension. Ancient myths and cosmologies are depicted through dynamic animations, worlds emerging from chaos, divine beings sculpting stars, and serpentine cycles of creation and destruction, illustrating the universal human fascination with the infinite and the unknowable. Through this historical lens, the section underscores that the questions we ask today about the universe, being a single frame in an infinite film, are not new. They echo through time, reflecting a persistent tension between human perception and cosmic reality. Philosophers and mystics may not have had telescopes or quantum theory, but their insights resonate with the same curiosity and wonder, revealing a continuity of thought that stretches across centuries. The visuals emphasize this continuum, scrolls and manuscripts overlaying starlit skies, ancient symbols merging with cosmic imagery, linking human history to the broader narrative of the universe. The narration also contrasts the limitations of early human understanding with the enormity of the cosmos itself. By placing viewers in the shoes of ancient thinkers, the section evokes the emotional weight of contemplating infinity with no tools, no telescopes, and no mathematics beyond rudimentary counting. It draws attention to the courage and imagination required to conceive of the universe as boundless, to see the self as a small fragment of something far larger. This contrast between human scale and cosmic scale reinforces the cinematic tension, inspiring both humility and wonder. Moments of narrative pause allow viewers to reflect, using visual metaphors like endless staircases, infinite spirals, and clouds dissolving into vast skies to evoke the immensity of the unknown. The narration emphasizes that these philosophical inquiries were not idle musings. They laid the groundwork for scientific exploration, planting the seeds of ideas that, centuries later, would evolve into physics, cosmology, and theories of the multiverse. The section subtly builds suspense, suggesting that the ancient imagination glimpsed aspects of reality that modern science is only beginning to understand, creating a bridge between past and present. By the end of this section, the audience is left with a profound sense of connection across time. Human curiosity, the desire to understand infinity, and the urge to glimpse beyond the visible are threads that tie ancient thinkers to contemporary scientists. The viewer is prepared to follow this continuum into the realm of modern physics, quantum mechanics, and cosmology, understanding that the quest to comprehend the universe as potentially a single frame in an infinite film is part of a long, unbroken chain of human inquiry. The tension between the visible and the hidden, between finite perception and boundless reality, is firmly established, setting the stage for the deeper scientific exploration to come. Shifting to the cutting edge of modern physics, this section introduces quantum uncertainty and the multiverse hypothesis, presenting them with cinematic flair that blends awe and unease. The narration begins with a journey into the microscopic world. Electrons flicker in and out of existence, photons split along multiple paths, and particles occupy states that defy classical logic. Cinematic visualizations depict this unseen realm as a kaleidoscope of motion and energy, emphasizing that the universe, at its most fundamental level, behaves in ways that challenge intuition. Viewers are asked to consider, if particles themselves are uncertain, how can the macroscopic reality we perceive ever be fully stable or singular? The section transitions to the concept of superposition, illustrating particles existing in multiple states simultaneously. Vivid analogies, an infinite library of doors, each representing a possible reality, help the audience grasp the idea that every decision, every chance event, may split the cosmos into divergent possibilities. Cinematic sequences depict branching realities, some strikingly similar to our own, others alien and incomprehensible, creating a sense of both wonder and disorientation. The narration emphasizes that quantum mechanics is not just a theoretical abstraction. Experiments consistently confirm that nature itself is probabilistic, a universe that seems to compute countless possibilities at once. Building on this, the multiverse hypothesis is introduced. Through sweeping cosmic panoramas and digital renderings, viewers are transported to parallel universes where physical constants differ, stars burn with unfamiliar light, and entire dimensions unfold beyond perception. The narration contrasts the familiar, ordered universe we inhabit with these infinite possibilities, creating dramatic tension. Are we witnessing the entirety of existence, or merely one chapter in an infinite library of cosmic stories? This framing evokes both awe and existential unease, pushing the audience to confront the scale and complexity of reality beyond everyday experience. Quantum entanglement is presented as a bridge between these universes, a subtle thread connecting distant particles in ways that defy classical understanding. Cinematic sequences illustrate pairs of particles mirroring each other instantaneously across vast distances, suggesting that reality may be far more interconnected than previously imagined. The narration contrasts the solidity of human perception with the fluid, almost magical, behavior of matter at quantum scales, reinforcing the section's central tension between certainty and mystery. Philosophical implications are woven seamlessly into the scientific narrative. What does it mean if every quantum decision creates a new universe? The section juxtaposes the exhilaration of limitless possibilities with the unsettling notion that every moment of our lives could be mirrored, altered, or erased across countless realities. Visual storytelling emphasizes these contrasts. Serene, familiar landscapes transition into surreal, alien worlds that obey different rules, highlighting the fragility of human perception and the vastness of what might exist beyond our senses. Historical context is also explored. Early pioneers of quantum theory, like Max Planck, Niels Bohr, and Erwin Schrödinger, are depicted through cinematic reenactments. Bohr pacing in candlelit lecture halls, Schrödinger scribbling paradoxes that would baffle the world, and Planck pondering the quantization of energy as though glimpsing a hidden script of reality. Their experiments and ideas set the stage for the radical notions that the universe is probabilistic, that reality is fundamentally uncertain, and that countless alternative realities could coexist simultaneously. These sequences humanize the abstract science, blending intellectual awe with cinematic storytelling. The section also emphasizes visual metaphors for comprehension, branching tree diagrams for the multiverse, cascading dominoes representing quantum probabilities, and rippling water surfaces reflecting infinite possibilities. The audience is invited to experience the tension between knowing and imagining, between what can be measured and what can only be theorized. Cinematic pacing alternates between rapid sequences of quantum events and lingering shots of cosmic scales, balancing urgency with contemplative wonder, keeping viewers emotionally engaged while navigating complex scientific ideas. By the end of this section, the audience grasps that quantum mechanics and the multiverse are not just scientific curiosities. They challenge fundamental assumptions about reality itself. Every particle, every decision, every observation may ripple through infinite possibilities, suggesting that our universe is only one thread in a vast, interwoven tapestry of existence. The narration leaves viewers with lingering questions. How much of what we perceive is uniquely ours, and how much is part of a grander, possibly infinite, structure? The emotional tone blends exhilaration, curiosity, and a subtle unease, perfectly setting up the next section on the holographic principle and the idea that reality itself may be encoded in ways beyond ordinary perception. Using cinematic graphics and evocative analogies, this section explores the revolutionary idea that all of reality could be encoded on a distant cosmic boundary, much like a hologram projecting three-dimensional images from a flat surface. The narration begins with sweeping visuals of galaxies, black holes, and cosmic filaments, illustrating the vastness of the universe, before zooming in on a single particle, suggesting that even the smallest elements of reality may carry information about the whole. Viewers are invited to imagine a universe where depth, space, and structure are illusions, projections arising from an underlying informational framework that exists beyond perception. This concept challenges our most basic assumptions about solidity and existence, creating a cinematic tension between the tangible world and the invisible, encoded reality beneath it. The section introduces the origins of the holographic principle, rooted in the physics of black holes. Visualizations depict matter being drawn into a black hole, while equations and data patterns ripple across its event horizon. The narration explains that physicists discovered information entering black holes is not lost but encoded on their surface, suggesting that the three-dimensional interior emerges from two-dimensional data. Cinematic sequences juxtapose the fearsome power of a black hole with the subtle elegance of hidden order, highlighting the paradox that destruction at one level may preserve the universe's memory at another. To help audiences grasp this abstract idea, the section employs tangible analogies: a flat credit card projecting a three-dimensional image, a shadow on a wall representing a deeper, hidden form, and layers of translucent glass revealing complex patterns when light passes through. Each visual reinforces the idea that perception can be deceiving, that what we see as three-dimensional may merely be the projection of underlying information. The narration emphasizes the poetic elegance of this principle, blending science with cinematic wonder, suggesting a universe that is at once mysterious, beautiful, and orderly in ways beyond our intuition. Quantum mechanics is interwoven into the narrative, showing how the holographic principle may reconcile seemingly contradictory phenomena. Visualizations depict entangled particles and quantum fluctuations, with digital grids and geometric patterns overlaying cosmic imagery. The narration contrasts the chaotic, probabilistic nature of the quantum world with the precise encoded structure implied by the holographic principle, creating dramatic tension. Beneath apparent randomness lies a hidden order that governs all existence. Viewers are asked to consider the implications. If reality is encoded, then everything we experience, from the smallest electron to the largest galaxy, may be part of a cosmic script written in an invisible language. Philosophical reflection deepens the emotional engagement. The narration raises profound questions. If the universe is a projection, what does it mean for consciousness? For free will? For the meaning of life itself? Cinematic visuals depict human figures walking through vast simulated landscapes that shimmer and distort, evoking a subtle unease, as though familiar reality could dissolve at any moment. This juxtaposition of human intimacy with cosmic abstraction emphasizes both our smallness and our connection to the grand informational tapestry that underlies existence. Historical context is woven throughout. The section highlights key contributions from theorists like Gerard T. Hooft and Leonard Susskind, presenting cinematic recreations of chalk-dusted lecture halls, late-night calculations, and collaborative debates that pushed the boundaries of understanding. The audience is shown the human side of discovery, the persistence, curiosity, and imagination required to challenge conventional notions of space and reality. By blending scientific rigor with cinematic storytelling, the section transforms abstract theory into an accessible, emotionally engaging journey. To reinforce comprehension, the narration employs layered visuals, grids mapping data on black hole surfaces, holographic projections transforming into recognizable cosmic structures, and time-lapse sequences showing galaxies forming as if scripted by unseen information. These sequences highlight the contrast between the observable, seemingly chaotic universe and the elegant informational framework that may generate it, deepening the audience's sense of awe and curiosity. The pacing alternates between contemplative sequences and dynamic, almost cinematic revelations, maintaining engagement while presenting complex ideas. By the end of this section, viewers are left with a profound sense of wonder and uncertainty. The holographic principle suggests that our universe is more than meets the eye. Space, matter, and time may all be emergent projections of underlying information encoded on cosmic surfaces far beyond perception. The narration leaves audiences contemplating the fragility and beauty of their own experiences, the possibility that reality itself is a cinematic projection in an infinite cosmic film. The tension between the tangible and the intangible, the known and the hidden, primes the audience for the next section on time as a cinematic sequence, where perception, memory, and cosmic rhythm intersect in unexpected ways. This section presents time not as a linear flow, but as a series of frames, each captured, stored, and possibly replayed, creating a cinematic narrative that bridges perception and the cosmos. The narration opens with sweeping visuals of clocks, hourglasses, and celestial bodies moving in slow motion, emphasizing the fluidity and relativity of time. Viewers are invited to reconsider their everyday experience of minutes and hours as part of a grander sequence, where past, present, and future may coexist simultaneously, layered like frames in a cosmic film reel. The contrast between human temporal perception and the universe's vast timescales evokes both awe and introspection, highlighting our fleeting yet poignant presence in the grand sequence. The section explores Einstein's theories of relativity, illustrating how time stretches and contracts in response to gravity and velocity. Cinematic visualizations depict astronauts approaching a black hole, experiencing time differently than distant observers, while planets and stars trace intricate orbits in slow-motion sequences. This interplay between motion and perception reinforces the idea that time is not absolute, but relational, framing reality as a dynamic, flexible structure that can be bent, slowed, or stretched, much like individual frames in a cinematic montage. Quantum perspectives on time are woven in, highlighting that at microscopic scales, events do not follow a single deterministic path. Particles appear and disappear, cause and effect blur, and the universe behaves probabilistically. Visual metaphors, like a film reel flickering between multiple possibilities, or a shattered mirror reflecting countless alternate timelines, illustrate how moments can exist in parallel or remain undefined until observed. The narration emphasizes that what feels continuous may, in essence, be a series of discrete, interconnected frames, each encoding the state of the universe at a precise instant. Historical and philosophical perspectives are integrated to deepen understanding. Ancient cultures measured time through celestial cycles, the rising and setting of stars, the waxing and waning of the moon, and the rhythms of seasons. Philosophers questioned the nature of past and future, suggesting that what we call time may be an illusion or a subjective construct. Cinematic sequences juxtapose ancient observatories with modern particle accelerators, highlighting the continuum of human curiosity about temporal reality. The audience is invited to contemplate how perception, memory, and cosmic rhythm intertwine, creating both order and mystery in our experience of time. The section also examines memory and consciousness as temporal frameworks. Human perception stitches moments together, creating a sense of flow and continuity, even though each instant is discrete. Dreamlike sequences illustrate memories as snapshots, reconstructed with emotion and imagination, mirroring the possible structure of reality itself. The narration draws parallels between the cinematic frame and human experience. Just as a film conveys a story through individual images, consciousness perceives reality as a seamless progression of events, though each is essentially a discrete unit of experience. Cinematic contrasts heighten engagement. Sequences of historical events, planetary movements, and personal human experiences are interwoven, demonstrating time's subjective nature. Moments of rapid acceleration, supernovae exploding, galaxies colliding, contrast with serene sequences of rivers flowing and leaves falling, emphasizing the relativity of temporal perception. The narration encourages viewers to reflect on their own lives, their memories and anticipations as microcosms of the larger cosmic sequence, fostering both wonder and introspection. Visual metaphors continue with light trails cascading, frames, and looping animations that suggest repetition and recursion. The universe is presented as both finite and infinite. Frames may repeat, overlap, or unfold in unexpected ways, blurring the distinction between what is past, present, and future. The audience is prompted to imagine existence as a cinematic reel, with each frame a precise capture of reality, where even the smallest events ripple across vast temporal scales, contributing to the cosmic narrative. By the end of this section, the viewer understands time as a layered, flexible construct, both intimate and cosmic, and begins to see the universe itself as a grand, meticulously sequenced film. This cinematic framing prepares the audience for the next section, which examines the universe as information, revealing how each frame may carry encoded data that connects the microcosmic and macrocosmic scales. The interplay between perception, memory, and cosmic rhythm reinforces the emotional engagement, inspiring both awe and curiosity about the structure and meaning of existence. Diving deeper into theoretical physics, this section introduces the concept of reality as a complex code, a vast informational tapestry where matter, energy, and space emerge from underlying data. The narration opens with sweeping cosmic visuals, galaxies spiraling, nebulae glowing, and particles flickering in quantum uncertainty, emphasizing the immense scale of the universe. Viewers are invited to imagine that every star, planet, and molecule is not just material, but a node in an intricate network of information, encoded with rules and patterns that govern existence itself. The contrast between tangible reality and abstract informational structures evokes both awe and intellectual curiosity, suggesting that the universe is not only observed but fundamentally computed. The section traces the origins of this idea to digital physics and theoretical propositions that liken reality to a cosmic code. Cinematic visuals illustrate streams of light and energy flowing as if along circuits, with data patterns overlaying familiar cosmic structures, showing the universe as an immense multidimensional program. The narration explains that physical laws can be viewed as algorithms, guiding the behavior of particles, stars, and galaxies in precise and predictable ways. By presenting the universe as information, the section challenges traditional notions of matter, inviting viewers to reconsider existence itself as emergent, relational, and encoded. Quantum mechanics is interwoven to strengthen the narrative. Particles exist in superposition, probabilities collapse upon observation, and entangled pairs communicate instantaneously across distances. Visual metaphors depict this as an enormous dynamic database, where every particle carries its own informational signature, interacting seamlessly with all others. The narration emphasizes that these interactions are not random but structured, suggesting an underlying code that orchestrates reality from the smallest scales to the vast cosmic web. Cinematic sequences of light and data flowing through space help viewers visualize this invisible architecture. The concept of information is extended to black holes, where matter is compressed into singularities and all entering information is thought to be stored on the event horizon. Animated sequences show information encoding like lines of glowing code across the surface of a black hole, tying in with the earlier holographic principle. The narration contrasts the apparent destruction of matter with the persistence of information, suggesting that even in the most extreme environments, reality preserves its underlying structure. This evokes both wonder and unease, highlighting the universe's ability to maintain coherence amid apparent chaos. Philosophical implications are woven throughout. If the universe is fundamentally information, consciousness itself may be a pattern interacting with and interpreting these codes. Cinematic imagery of human thought, neural activity, and brain waves overlays cosmic patterns, implying a deep connection between mind and universe. The narration raises profound questions. Is perception simply reading the cosmic code? Are life, matter, and even free will expressions of informational structures? The tension between human agency and deterministic coding engages viewers emotionally, evoking awe, curiosity, and a subtle existential unease. The section also explores historical and modern scientific perspectives. From the early musings of Leibniz on pre-established harmony to contemporary theories by Seth Lloyd and John Wheeler, the idea of a universe as information has evolved over centuries. Cinematic recreations depict scientists working in dimly lit labs, scribbling formulas, and running complex simulations, bridging the gap between abstract theory and tangible investigation. This humanizes the scientific endeavor, showing that the quest to decode reality is both deeply intellectual and profoundly emotional. Visual metaphors continue to deepen engagement. Particle collisions explode into cascading streams of light and numbers, galaxy clusters transform into networks of interconnected nodes, and time-lapses show cosmic events as sequences of encoded frames. These images illustrate the duality of the universe as simultaneously chaotic and structured, tangible and abstract. The pacing alternates between sweeping, contemplative panoramas and rapid, high-intensity sequences of quantum interactions, maintaining a cinematic rhythm that sustains attention while communicating complex ideas. By the end of this section, viewers are left with a sense of the universe as both infinitely vast and meticulously structured, a living informational web where each element carries meaning and consequence. The narration emphasizes that perceiving the universe as information opens new avenues for understanding reality, consciousness, and the laws that govern existence. The tension between the tangible and the coded, the observable and the hidden, primes the audience for the next section on black holes and cosmic memory, where the storage and preservation of information in the universe will be explored in cinematic, awe-inspiring detail. This section explores black holes as both destructive forces and repositories of cosmic memory, blending cinematic spectacle with profound philosophical questions. The narration begins with sweeping visuals of massive black holes bending starlight, swallowing matter, and warping space-time, emphasizing their terrifying power and elegance. Viewers are invited to consider that, rather than obliterating all that enters them, black holes may preserve information, encoding the history of everything that falls within their event horizons. The contrast between apparent annihilation and hidden preservation evokes awe and curiosity, framing black holes as guardians of cosmic secrets within the infinite film of the universe. The section introduces the discovery that information entering black holes is not destroyed, but potentially encoded on their surfaces, connecting to the holographic principle explored earlier. Cinematic sequences depict streams of matter spiraling into the abyss, their paths traced with luminous trails that transform into intricate patterns on the event horizon, visualizing the idea that, even in destruction, order persists. The narration emphasizes that this challenges long-held assumptions about permanence, decay, and the ultimate fate of matter and energy, suggesting that the universe maintains a meticulous record of all events, no matter how extreme. Quantum perspectives deepen the narrative. Particles entering a black hole interact with the singularity and the surrounding quantum fields, creating entangled states and complex informational structures. Visual metaphors depict particles as glowing nodes, each leaving a trace across the black hole's surface, hinting at the possibility of a universal memory encoded in cosmic phenomena. The narration contrasts human perception of annihilation with the underlying reality of preservation, provoking a sense of wonder at nature's subtlety and the resilience of information across extreme scales. Historical and scientific context is interwoven. Early skepticism about black holes is shown through cinematic recreations of theoretical debates, chalkboards covered in equations, and researchers grappling with paradoxes like Hawking's information loss problem. The narration highlights the shift from fear and uncertainty to deeper understanding, portraying black holes as both threats and windows into the fundamental structure of reality. By framing scientific discovery as a cinematic drama, the section underscores the emotional and intellectual stakes involved in probing the universe's most enigmatic objects. Philosophical reflection complements the scientific exposition. If black holes store information, they become cosmic archivists, preserving the past within the present. Cinematic visuals depict swirling galaxies and collapsing stars, overlaid with abstract patterns representing encoded histories, emphasizing that memory and reality are intertwined on a cosmic scale. The narration raises profound questions. Could the universe itself be a vast memory bank? Are we, in some way, reading a story written into the fabric of space-time, our experiences a frame in an infinite record? The tension between mystery and revelation engages the audience emotionally, inspiring both awe and contemplation. The section also examines the role of black holes in shaping the universe. Their gravity sculpts galaxies, triggers star formation, and drives cosmic evolution, suggesting that their informational function is not passive but active, influencing the structure of reality itself. Cinematic sequences depict galaxies in dynamic motion, supermassive black holes anchoring luminous spirals, and matter swirling in accretion disks like dancers in a choreographed sequence. These visuals highlight the dual nature of black holes, destructive yet creative, erasing some aspects while encoding and structuring others, reinforcing the cinematic metaphor of the universe as a meticulously sequenced film. Visual metaphors and cinematic techniques maintain engagement. Ripples in space-time, glowing grids of information, and time-lapse sequences of cosmic events illustrate the interplay between destruction and memory. Contrasts between immense, slow-moving cosmic structures and rapid, energetic phenomena emphasize scale and drama, making abstract concepts tangible and emotionally resonant. The pacing alternates between contemplative cosmic panoramas and intense, dynamic sequences of matter plunging into black holes, sustaining suspense while deepening understanding. By the end of this section, the viewer appreciates black holes not merely as destructive anomalies, but as integral components of a universe that encodes, preserves, and transmits information. The narration leaves the audience reflecting on the fragility and resilience of reality, the interconnection of past and present, and the possibility that the universe's story is continuously written, frame by frame, across space-time. This prepares the audience for the next section on consciousness and observation, linking the cosmic record to the role of perception in shaping and reading the universe's infinite cinematic film. This section explores the intimate link between consciousness and reality, suggesting that observation itself may influence the unfolding of the cosmic narrative. The narration begins with cinematic sequences of human eyes opening in darkness, neurons firing in rapid succession, and streams of light interacting with matter, creating a visual metaphor for the act of perception as a bridge between mind and universe. Viewers are invited to consider the possibility that consciousness is not merely a passive observer, but an active participant, collapsing quantum possibilities into tangible reality and shaping the very frames of the cosmic film in which we exist. The contrast between subjective experience and universal laws evokes awe, curiosity, and existential reflection. The section delves into quantum mechanics and the observer effect, illustrating how the act of measurement can determine outcomes at the smallest scales. Visualizations depict particles existing in multiple states, then resolving into definite positions as observation occurs, using cinematic analogies of film reels coming into focus or a kaleidoscope's patterns snapping into alignment. The narration emphasizes that perception and reality are intertwined. The universe, at its most fundamental level, may require consciousness to manifest, suggesting a profound connection between mind and cosmos. Historical context and philosophical inquiry enrich the narrative. From ancient thinkers pondering the nature of perception to modern physicists like Werner Heisenberg and John von Neumann grappling with the role of observation, the section presents a continuum of inquiry. Cinematic recreations show scholars in study chambers, scribbling equations and debating paradoxes, juxtaposed with visualizations of microscopic and cosmic phenomena, emphasizing that human curiosity about consciousness and reality is both timeless and universal. The narration frames consciousness as a lens through which the universe reveals itself, highlighting the emotional and intellectual stakes of understanding perception. Visual metaphors abound, mirrors reflecting infinite layers of space, fractal patterns unfolding in neurons and galaxies alike, and streams of light connecting observers to observed phenomena. These sequences reinforce the idea that observation bridges the microcosmic and macrocosmic, linking human experience to the structure of reality itself. Cinematic contrasts, slow-motion glimpses of neurons firing alongside supernovae exploding, underscore the universality of patterns, hinting at an interconnectedness between mind, matter, and cosmic processes. The narrative also explores implications for free will, reality, and identity. If consciousness shapes what is observed, the very act of living may contribute to the universe's unfolding structure. Dreamlike sequences juxtapose everyday human experiences with cosmic events, emphasizing that perception is both personal and universal. The narration raises profound questions. Are we co-creators of reality? Does our awareness ripple through the cosmos, leaving imprints on the frames of existence? These questions evoke both wonder and subtle unease, engaging the audience emotionally while stimulating intellectual curiosity. Philosophical and spiritual perspectives are interwoven to deepen engagement. Eastern traditions, with their focus on awareness and the unity of observer and observed, are juxtaposed with Western analytical frameworks, creating a contrast between rational inquiry and experiential insight. Cinematic sequences depict meditators, philosophers, and scientists alike contemplating the same mysteries, emphasizing that consciousness has long been considered central to understanding reality. The narration frames this exploration as both scientific and deeply human, bridging empirical investigation with introspective reflection. Cinematic pacing alternates between contemplative stillness and dynamic bursts of activity. Slow, lingering shots of stars, neurons, and human faces invite reflection, while rapid sequences of particle interactions, flashes of insight, and bursts of cosmic energy convey the intensity of discovery. This rhythm mirrors the interplay between observation and manifestation, reinforcing the section's theme that consciousness and reality are inseparably linked. By the end of this section, the viewer is left contemplating the profound role of perception in shaping existence. Consciousness emerges not merely as an observer of the universe, but as a participant, influencing outcomes, collapsing possibilities, and connecting the human experience to the cosmic narrative. The tension between subjective awareness and the objective universe heightens both emotional engagement and curiosity, preparing the audience for the next section on the simulation hypothesis and the possibility that the cosmos itself may operate as a carefully constructed cinematic program. This section explores the provocative idea that our universe might be a sophisticated simulation, blending scientific reasoning, philosophical reflection and cinematic spectacle to immerse viewers in a world where reality itself is code. The narration opens with sweeping visuals of digital grids overlaying cosmic structures, photons splitting like streams of data, and human figures moving through landscapes that shimmer and ripple, suggesting that the familiar universe may conceal hidden algorithms. Viewers are invited to question the nature of existence. Could every particle, every law of physics, and every moment of conscious experience be part of an advanced computational framework? The contrast between the tangible and the constructed evokes awe, curiosity, and a subtle existential unease. The section introduces the historical origins of the idea, tracing thought experiments from philosophical musings in Plato's allegory of the cave to modern computational theories. Cinematic sequences depict shadows on walls transforming into holographic landscapes, symbolizing the evolving human understanding of reality and perception. The narration emphasizes that while the concept of a simulated reality may seem futuristic or abstract, it emerges naturally from centuries of philosophical inquiry into the nature of perception, consciousness, and existence itself. Scientific perspectives are seamlessly woven into the narrative. The section explores how advances in computing, information theory, and quantum mechanics make the simulation hypothesis plausible. Visualizations depict quantum fluctuations as streams of encoded data, cosmic structures as intricate algorithms, and particles as nodes in a vast computational network. The narration highlights that if reality is informational at its core, it may resemble a program running on a substrate beyond our perception, a grand digital tapestry where cause and effect, order and chaos, are meticulously orchestrated. Philosophical implications are explored through cinematic contrasts. Everyday human experiences, sunlight filtering through trees, ripples across a pond, neurons firing in thought, are juxtaposed with abstract sequences of code and data patterns, evoking the possibility that the familiar and the extraordinary are two sides of the same construct. The narration asks profound questions. If we are part of a simulation, does free will exist, or is choice predetermined by underlying algorithms? Can consciousness emerge authentically within a computational framework? These questions create tension and wonder, engaging both intellect and emotion. Visual metaphors help viewers grasp complex ideas. A single decision splits into multiple paths, rendered as cascading streams of light. Galaxies rotate as if on precise mathematical grids. Waves ripple across oceans, reflecting invisible algorithms at work. Cinematic pacing alternates between contemplative shots of human and cosmic life, and rapid sequences illustrating the vast computational nature of the universe. This rhythm mirrors the tension between the tangible experience of life and the abstract possibility of simulation, sustaining engagement while reinforcing the section's central themes. Historical and modern thinkers are featured to humanize the scientific inquiry. Recreations depict philosophers, physicists, and computer scientists working late into the night, scribbling equations, coding simulations, and debating the nature of reality. The narration emphasizes the continuity of curiosity, the drive to understand existence, to question perception, and to explore the possibility that what is experienced may not be the ultimate reality. By blending human endeavor with cosmic speculation, the section maintains both cinematic appeal and intellectual depth. The section also explores potential evidence and thought experiments that support the simulation hypothesis. Quantum indeterminacy, the pixel-like structure of space at Planck scales, and the holographic principle are presented as clues, suggesting reality may be discretely encoded. Cinematic visuals depict these phenomena as glowing grids, cascading streams of energy, and dynamic shifting patterns overlaying familiar cosmic scenes. The narration frames these observations as tantalizing hints, maintaining mystery while grounding the concept in scientific plausibility. Ethical and existential reflections deepen the emotional engagement. If the universe is a simulation, the question of purpose arises. Are we actors in a pre-written narrative, or co-creators within a programmable cosmos? Cinematic sequences depict human lives intertwined with cosmic patterns, emphasizing both our fragility and our significance in the broader scheme. The contrast between the perceived freedom of daily life and the possibility of underlying structure creates dramatic tension, compelling the audience to consider the profound implications for identity, consciousness, and meaning. By the end of this section, viewers are left suspended between wonder and uncertainty. The simulation hypothesis frames the universe as potentially an exquisitely designed computational system, where every event, every observation, and every frame of existence may be part of a grand program beyond perception. The narration emphasizes that whether or not this hypothesis is ultimately true, it challenges assumptions about reality, consciousness, and the very nature of existence. This sets the stage for the next section, which examines cosmic patterns, synchronicities, and the hidden order that may underlie what we perceive as chance, further deepening the cinematic exploration of a universe that may be scripted, framed, and interconnected. This section examines the subtle structures and recurring patterns that permeate the universe, suggesting an underlying order that hints at a hidden cosmic script. The narration begins with sweeping visualizations of galaxies arranged in filaments, swirling nebulae, and planetary orbits, emphasizing the precision and elegance of celestial mechanics. Viewers are invited to notice recurring motifs, from the spirals of galaxies to the fractal branching of rivers and trees, as if the universe itself follows a grand, interconnected design. The contrast between apparent randomness and intricate order evokes awe, wonder, and a sense of connection to a cosmos that is simultaneously chaotic and meticulously structured. Mathematical and physical patterns are explored in cinematic detail. The Fibonacci sequence, the golden ratio, and fractal geometries are shown to emerge repeatedly in nature, from the arrangement of sunflower seeds to spiral galaxies. Animated sequences overlay these patterns on both microscopic and cosmic scales, illustrating how simple rules can generate complexity and beauty across the universe. The narration emphasizes that these recurring structures may reflect fundamental laws, suggesting that reality is governed by deep principles that bridge the visible and the invisible, the finite and the infinite. The section also delves into resonance, harmony, and synchronicity. Vibrational patterns, from atomic oscillations to gravitational waves, are visualized as luminous ripples propagating across space and matter. Cinematic sequences depict these rhythms intersecting and amplifying, creating a sense of cosmic choreography. The narration highlights that what might appear as chance events are often expressions of underlying synchrony, reinforcing the idea that the universe may operate as a finely tuned system with layers of hidden order that human perception only partially apprehends. Philosophical and historical context enrich the narrative. From Pythagoras' belief in a harmonious cosmos to Kepler's laws of planetary motion, thinkers have long sought to uncover patterns that reveal the structure of reality. Cinematic recreations show ancient scholars mapping stars, calculating ratios, and discovering correspondences, bridging past and present inquiries. The narration frames these discoveries as milestones in humanity's ongoing attempt to decode the universe, emphasizing the continuity of curiosity and the emotional resonance of finding order amidst apparent chaos. Quantum and cosmological perspectives are integrated. Subatomic particles, quantum fields, and cosmic background radiation all exhibit patterns that suggest a structured underlying framework. Visual metaphors depict these patterns as interlacing threads, networks, or grids, connecting phenomena across scales. The narration contrasts the microcosmic and macrocosmic, highlighting that hidden order operates simultaneously at the tiniest and largest scales, reinforcing the sense of a universe that is coherent, intelligent, and exquisitely interwoven. Cinematic contrasts enhance engagement. Moments of rapid cosmic change, supernovae exploding, black holes consuming matter, are interspersed with serene, symmetrical sequences such as rotating galaxies or calm ocean waves, emphasizing the balance between dynamism and structure. The narration encourages viewers to consider how these patterns might reflect a deeper, informational or computational reality, connecting back to prior sections on the universe as information and the possibility of a simulated cosmos. Philosophical reflection deepens emotional engagement. If the universe is patterned and interconnected, human life is not separate from the cosmic narrative, but embedded within it. Visual sequences depict human activity mirrored in cosmic structures, veins in leaves echoing river networks, neural connections reflecting galaxy clusters, creating a cinematic sense of resonance between observer and universe. The narration evokes both humility and wonder, inviting viewers to contemplate their place within the intricate tapestry of existence. By the end of this section, the audience appreciates the universe as a domain of subtle patterns and hidden order, where chaos and harmony coexist in a dynamic interplay. The tension between randomness and structure, chance and design, primes viewers for the next section, which explores mathematical and physical constants as the foundational scaffolding of reality. This exploration continues the cinematic journey, reinforcing the sense that the universe may be a meticulously encoded, infinitely layered film in which each frame carries meaning, resonance, and potential insight into the nature of existence. This section delves into the fundamental constants of nature, the unchanging numbers and ratios that underpin the structure and behavior of the universe, revealing how these precise values shape every particle, planet, and galaxy. The narration opens with cinematic visuals of atoms vibrating, planets orbiting, stars, and galaxies spiraling across cosmic voids, emphasizing the consistency and precision of these constants. Viewers are invited to marvel at the extraordinary fine-tuning of the universe, where even slight deviations in constants like the speed of light, Planck's constant, or the gravitational constant would render life impossible. The contrast between the fragile balance of these numbers and the vastness of the cosmos evokes awe, wonder, and deep contemplation about the nature of existence. The section explores the role of physical constants in governing reality. Visualizations depict electrons orbiting nuclei, light bending around massive objects, and stars igniting in precise thermonuclear reactions, all choreographed by these unchanging quantities. The narration explains that constants act as the universe's scaffolding, determining the behavior of matter and energy across scales. Cinematic metaphors compare these constants to the beats of a cosmic drum or the frame rate of an infinite film, emphasizing their role in maintaining order and coherence throughout reality. Philosophical and scientific implications are explored. The remarkable precision of constants raises profound questions. Is this fine-tuning a product of chance, a multiverse selection effect, or evidence of deeper design? Cinematic sequences juxtapose vast cosmic panoramas with microscopic atomic structures, visually reinforcing the delicate interdependence of constants and phenomena. The narration evokes both intellectual curiosity and emotional resonance, framing constants as silent, omnipresent directors of the cosmic story, invisible yet essential. Historical perspectives enrich the narrative. From Max Planck's introduction of the quantum of action to Einstein's use of the speed of light as a cosmic limit, scientists have gradually uncovered the pivotal role of constants in shaping reality. Cinematic recreations depict laboratories, chalkboards covered in equations, and researchers observing celestial phenomena, highlighting the human endeavor to understand these invisible parameters. The narration bridges past discoveries with contemporary theories, emphasizing the continuity of inquiry and the cinematic drama inherent in uncovering the universe's hidden rules. The section also examines the interplay between constants and cosmology. The expansion of the universe, the formation of galaxies, and the synthesis of elements are all governed by precise numerical relationships. Visualizations depict cosmic evolution as a delicate dance, with each step dictated by constants, creating structures that are both complex and elegant. The narration emphasizes that the universe's very existence hinges on this numerical harmony, reinforcing the emotional impact of discovering order in apparent chaos. Cinematic contrasts heighten engagement. Sequences of explosive phenomena, supernovae, gamma-ray bursts, and black hole mergers, are interwoven with serene, symmetrical visuals of planetary orbits and crystal lattices, illustrating that constants operate consistently across extreme scales. This dynamic pacing mirrors the balance between awe-inspiring events and the steady underlying rules that govern them, sustaining both intellectual and emotional investment. Connections to prior sections deepen narrative coherence. The constants are linked to quantum mechanics, information theory, and hidden cosmic patterns, suggesting that the universe operates as an integrated, finely tuned system. Cinematic sequences overlay glowing grids of data onto celestial structures, highlighting how constants, like encoded instructions, maintain the coherence and continuity of reality. The narration frames these constants as threads weaving the cosmic tapestry, bridging the microcosmic and macrocosmic realms, and preparing viewers for philosophical exploration of meaning and purpose. By the end of this section, viewers grasp that the universe is meticulously calibrated, where constants ensure stability, coherence, and the possibility of life. The narration evokes awe, intellectual wonder, and subtle existential reflection, emphasizing that these numerical pillars underpin every aspect of existence. This understanding primes the audience for the next section on cosmic evolution and the emergent complexity of life, where constants interact dynamically to produce the intricate phenomena that populate the cinematic universe. This section explores how the universe, governed by fundamental constants and hidden patterns, evolves over time to create intricate structures and life itself. The narration opens with sweeping cinematic visuals of galaxies colliding, stars igniting, and planets forming from swirling cosmic dust, illustrating the dynamic processes that give rise to complexity. Viewers are invited to witness the emergence of order from chaos, where gravity, energy, and elemental interactions sculpt matter into increasingly sophisticated forms. The contrast between the immense scale of cosmic events and the delicate intricacy of life evokes awe, wonder, and a profound appreciation for the interconnectivity of all things. The section examines stellar evolution as a primary driver of complexity. Visualizations depict the life cycle of stars, from protostars condensing in nebulae to supernovae scattering elements across space. The narration emphasizes that these stellar processes produce the essential building blocks of life, such as carbon, oxygen, and nitrogen, linking cosmic phenomena to biological emergence. Cinematic metaphors compare stars to cosmic forges, shaping matter and energy into the components necessary for complexity, underscoring the interdependence of cosmic and biological processes. Galaxies and planetary systems are explored as arenas of emergent structure. Animated sequences show swirling galaxies forming patterns, planets coalescing from accretion disks, and orbital resonances stabilizing celestial mechanics. The narration highlights that the self-organizing principles of gravity, angular momentum, and thermodynamics produce predictable patterns amid apparent randomness, revealing the subtle laws that govern emergent complexity. Cinematic contrasts between explosive star formation and serene planetary rotation emphasize both the dynamism and stability inherent in cosmic evolution. The narrative delves into the origin of life, illustrating how emergent complexity extends from astrophysical to biological scales. Visualizations depict early Earth, with chemical reactions in primordial oceans giving rise to self-replicating molecules, eventually forming cells and multicellular organisms. The narration underscores that life emerges not from randomness alone, but from a combination of physical laws, environmental conditions, and probabilistic processes, reflecting a universe capable of nurturing increasingly sophisticated structures. Cinematic sequences juxtapose molecular dynamics with planetary-scale processes, reinforcing the continuity between microcosm and macrocosm. Quantum mechanics and information theory are woven into the discussion. The section explores how quantum fluctuations in the early universe seeded large-scale structures, creating the conditions for galaxies, stars, and ultimately life. Visual metaphors depict ripples in space-time as threads of information connecting distant cosmic regions, emphasizing that complexity emerges from the interplay between fundamental laws and stochastic processes. The narration frames these interactions as part of a cinematic script, where each frame contributes to the unfolding story of the universe. Philosophical reflections deepen engagement. The emergence of life and consciousness prompts questions about purpose, directionality, and the nature of complexity. Cinematic sequences juxtapose human experiences, such as thought and creativity, with cosmic phenomena, highlighting the continuity of complexity across scales. The narration asks whether the universe has an intrinsic propensity for emergent structures or whether life is a rare accident in a vast cosmic arena, evoking both wonder and existential curiosity. The section also explores the role of feedback and self-organization. Ecosystems, climate systems, and planetary dynamics illustrate how interactions between components lead to stability, adaptation, and resilience. Cinematic visuals depict coral reefs, forests, and weather patterns as extensions of cosmic processes, reinforcing the idea that emergent complexity is not limited to life, but pervades all levels of the universe. The narration emphasizes the interconnectedness of systems, creating a sense of unity between the cosmic and the terrestrial. Cinematic contrasts heighten emotional engagement. Explosive supernovae and violent galactic collisions are juxtaposed with tranquil landscapes, evolving organisms, and human creativity, emphasizing the interplay between chaos and order. The pacing alternates between sweeping cosmic panoramas and intimate microscopic sequences, mirroring the scales at which complexity emerges and sustaining both intellectual and emotional engagement. By the end of this section, viewers appreciate the universe as a dynamic, evolving system where emergent complexity arises naturally from fundamental laws and processes. The narration evokes awe, intellectual curiosity, and subtle philosophical reflection, emphasizing that the intricate structures and life forms we observe are expressions of deep cosmic order. This understanding primes the audience for the next section on consciousness as an emergent property, connecting cosmic evolution to the rise of self-awareness and perception within the cinematic framework of the universe. This section investigates how consciousness arises naturally from complex systems, framing self-awareness as an emergent phenomenon in the cosmic narrative. The narration begins with cinematic visuals of neural networks firing, biological cells interacting, and neurons forming intricate webs of connection, gradually zooming out to show planetary ecosystems and swirling galaxies, emphasizing parallels between microcosmic and macrocosmic structures. Viewers are invited to consider that consciousness is not a singular mystical entity, but a product of intricate organization, feedback loops, and information processing emerging from matter itself. The contrast between the mechanistic roots of consciousness and the subjective depth of experience evokes wonder, curiosity, and philosophical reflection. The section explores the neuroscience of consciousness, illustrating how networks of neurons process information, form memories, and generate perception. Animated sequences depict synapses firing, electrical impulses traveling across dendrites, and patterns of brain activity giving rise to thoughts and emotions. The narration emphasizes that consciousness emerges when systems reach sufficient complexity, where interactions between components produce properties that cannot be predicted from the parts alone. Cinematic metaphors compare neural activity to a symphony, with countless individual notes combining to create a coherent, unified experience. Emergent principles are extended to broader systems. The section highlights how complex interactions in ecosystems, social networks, and even planetary systems exhibit behaviors that arise spontaneously from simple rules. Visualizations depict flocking birds, flowing rivers, and interacting weather patterns as analogs to neural networks, emphasizing that emergent phenomena are universal across scales. The narration frames consciousness within this continuum, suggesting that self-awareness is a natural extension of the universe's capacity for organization and complexity. Quantum and informational perspectives are woven in to deepen the narrative. The section discusses the potential role of quantum coherence and entanglement in neural processes, illustrating how micro-level interactions can influence macro-level cognition. Visual metaphors depict particles flickering, photons traveling along neural pathways, and information rippling across networks, suggesting that consciousness may arise from subtle, finely tuned informational structures. The narration highlights that, while the precise mechanisms remain mysterious, the emergent nature of consciousness aligns with the universe's overarching tendency to generate complexity from foundational laws. Philosophical reflections are integrated throughout. The section explores questions of subjective experience, identity, and free will, emphasizing that emergent consciousness bridges the physical and experiential realms. Cinematic sequences depict humans observing the cosmos, contemplating life, and experiencing emotion, intercut with neural activity and cosmic patterns, highlighting the interplay between matter, information, and awareness. The narration challenges viewers to consider the profound significance of consciousness as both a product of physical processes and a lens through which the universe perceives itself. Historical and scientific context enriches engagement. From early philosophical inquiries into the nature of the mind to contemporary neuroscience and computational models, thinkers have long sought to understand how consciousness emerges. Cinematic recreations depict researchers analyzing brain scans, modeling neural networks, and simulating artificial intelligence, illustrating humanity's ongoing quest to decode self-awareness. The narration emphasizes that consciousness, like other emergent phenomena, is best understood through the interplay of observation, theory, and experimentation, creating a bridge between mystery and discovery. Cinematic contrasts enhance storytelling. Rapid sequences of neural firing, quantum interactions, and informational flow are juxtaposed with slow, contemplative shots of human experience, natural landscapes, and cosmic phenomena, reinforcing the duality of mechanistic processes and subjective depth. The pacing mirrors the rhythm of consciousness itself, alternating between bursts of insight and reflective stillness, sustaining engagement while conveying the richness of emergent awareness. By the end of this section, viewers appreciate consciousness as a natural emergent property of complex systems, intricately connected to both biological and cosmic processes. The narration evokes awe, intellectual curiosity, and philosophical reflection, emphasizing that self-awareness is not isolated, but embedded within the universe's broader narrative. This understanding prepares the audience for the next section on parallel universes and the multiverse, extending the cinematic exploration of reality into realms beyond our immediate perception and challenging viewers to reconsider the boundaries of existence. This section delves into the tantalizing possibility that our universe is one of countless others, each with its own laws, constants, and realities, weaving the concept of the multiverse into the cinematic narrative of existence. The narration begins with sweeping visuals of infinite cosmic expanses, interlocking galaxies, and shimmering planes of light, suggesting realms beyond human perception. Viewers are invited to consider that our universe may be just a single frame in a boundless cosmic film, where every possibility, every variation of physical laws and histories exists simultaneously. The contrast between our familiar reality and these unseen realms evokes awe, wonder, and a profound sense of mystery. The section explores scientific theories that support the multiverse concept. Inflationary cosmology, quantum mechanics, and string theory are presented as frameworks suggesting that universes can bud off from one another, branch from quantum fluctuations, or exist in higher dimensional spaces. Cinematic sequences illustrate these ideas with visual metaphors, universes splitting like film reels, bubbles expanding into vast landscapes, and multidimensional grids extending beyond comprehension. The narration emphasizes that these theories, while speculative, are grounded in rigorous mathematics and physics, offering a credible glimpse into a reality far richer than our own. Quantum mechanics is highlighted as a foundation for parallel realities. The section examines the many worlds interpretation, where every quantum event generates branching outcomes, each realized in a separate universe. Visualizations depict particles existing in multiple states, then diverging into alternate paths that unfold as fully formed realities. The narration draws a cinematic analogy. Each universe is a frame in an infinite branching film, capturing every conceivable variation of existence. This perspective challenges traditional notions of linear time and singular reality, evoking both intellectual curiosity and existential awe. Philosophical and existential implications are woven throughout. If parallel universes exist, questions arise about identity, choice, and meaning. Are our decisions unique or mirrored across countless realities? Cinematic sequences juxtapose everyday human experiences with alternate versions of events unfolding in parallel, creating a sense of resonance and tension. The narration encourages viewers to reflect on the vastness of possibility, the interconnectedness of events, and the limits of perception, engaging both emotion and intellect in the contemplation of infinite realities. Visual metaphors continue to enhance engagement. Cosmic fractals, endless bubbles, and shimmering planes of light illustrate the multiverse as both vast and intricate, with universes nested, branching, and overlapping. Cinematic contrasts between serene, stable universes and chaotic, eruptive ones emphasize the diversity of cosmic conditions and the delicate balance that allows complexity to emerge. The narration highlights that, even within an infinite ensemble, some universes may mirror our own, while others are unrecognizable, challenging viewers to expand their sense of what is possible. Historical and scientific context deepens narrative immersion. From the philosophical musings of ancient thinkers about multiple worlds to modern proposals by cosmologists such as Max Tegmark and André Linde, the multiverse has evolved from speculation to a serious theoretical consideration. Cinematic recreations depict scientists calculating probabilities, modeling cosmic inflation, and simulating alternate realities, blending human curiosity with cosmic scale. The narration emphasizes that the multiverse concept unites imagination and science, offering both intellectual rigor and cinematic wonder. The section also examines potential implications for life, consciousness, and cosmic evolution. In a multiverse, every combination of physical laws, constants, and initial conditions may be realized, suggesting that life, and even consciousness, could emerge in infinite variations. Visual sequences show planets, biospheres, and sentient beings unfolding across alternate realities, reinforcing the notion that our experience is just one frame in a vast cosmic panorama. The narration emphasizes that this perspective expands our understanding of possibility, purpose, and the scope of existence, provoking both awe and existential contemplation. Cinematic pacing maintains engagement. Slow, sweeping shots of interconnected universes alternate with rapid sequences of quantum branching and cosmic explosions, mirroring the rhythm of discovery and complexity inherent in multiverse theories. This interplay of calm and intensity reinforces the emotional and intellectual impact, sustaining attention while conveying the infinite scale and diversity of possibilities. By the end of this section, viewers grasp the profound implications of a multiverse. Reality may be far larger, stranger, and more interconnected than previously imagined. The narration evokes wonder, philosophical reflection, and intellectual curiosity, emphasizing that our universe may be one frame among countless others in an infinite cosmic film. This understanding prepares the audience for the next section, which explores cosmic recursion and the idea that universes may be nested, cyclical, or looping, further deepening the cinematic exploration of infinite reality. This section explores the concept that universes may not exist in isolation, but could be nested, looping, or recursively structured, adding layers of complexity to the cinematic narrative of existence. The narration begins with visuals of Russian nesting dolls dissolving into galaxies, fractal patterns extending into infinity, and spiraling cosmic tunnels, suggesting a reality that repeats, reflects, and folds back on itself. Viewers are invited to imagine a universe where every scale, from subatomic particles to vast cosmic webs, mirrors higher or lower levels of reality, creating an intricate, self-referential structure. The contrast between familiar cosmic structures and recursive, mind-bending patterns evokes awe, curiosity, and a subtle sense of vertigo. The section delves into the scientific foundations of recursion in cosmology. Theories of cyclic universes, self-similar fractal structures, and holographic principles are presented as frameworks, suggesting that reality may be organized in repeating patterns. Cinematic sequences depict galaxies nested within larger galaxies, cosmic strings looping across dimensions, and energy patterns folding into themselves, visualizing abstract concepts in a way that is both comprehensible and spectacular. The narration emphasizes that these recursive structures imply an underlying order and coherence, where universes are connected through cycles of birth, evolution, and transformation. Quantum mechanics and information theory are integrated to deepen understanding. The section examines how information may propagate across scales, with each level of reality encoding echoes of others. Visual metaphors show particles vibrating with patterns that replicate at larger scales, and spirals of energy forming mirrored structures across cosmic expanses. The narration highlights that recursion may not be merely aesthetic, but functional, preserving coherence, memory, and information across nested layers of existence. This perspective reinforces the cinematic idea of the universe as a carefully orchestrated, infinite film, with each frame reflecting and informing others. Philosophical and existential implications are woven throughout. If realities are nested or cyclical, questions arise about causality, free will, and the nature of time. Cinematic sequences depict alternate versions of events unfolding within layered realities, with characters and cosmic phenomena echoing across scales. The narration encourages viewers to consider that our perception of linear time and isolated existence may be limited, suggesting a universe where cause and effect loop, repeat, and resonate across nested layers of reality. This evokes both wonder and subtle existential tension. Visual metaphors enhance engagement and comprehension. Fractals, spirals, and recursive grids are animated to demonstrate how structures repeat at different scales, while cinematic transitions move seamlessly from microscopic to galactic scales, reinforcing the unity and self-similarity of the cosmos. The narration emphasizes that recursion may be a fundamental organizing principle, linking everything from the tiniest quarks to the largest cosmic webs, creating a sense of interconnectedness and sublime symmetry. Historical and scientific context adds depth. From early philosophical notions of eternal return to contemporary cosmological models proposing cyclic or bouncing universes, thinkers have long speculated about repeating structures. Cinematic recreations show scholars contemplating nested realities, mapping patterns in nature, and using simulations to explore cycles of cosmic evolution. The narration frames these investigations as part of humanity's ongoing quest to uncover the hidden architecture of reality, blending intellectual rigor with cinematic spectacle. Cinematic pacing alternates between slow, contemplative exploration and rapid, mind-bending sequences. Viewers witness recursive galaxies slowly rotating before diving into rapid zooms through nested universes, looping fractals, and echoing energy patterns. This rhythm mirrors the recursive nature of reality itself, sustaining engagement while emphasizing both the elegance and the dizzying complexity of nested structures. By the end of this section, viewers are left contemplating a universe, or multiverse, where realities reflect, fold, and loop within one another. The narration evokes awe, curiosity, and philosophical reflection, suggesting that existence may be far more layered, interconnected, and self-referential than previously imagined. This primes the audience for the next section, which examines entropy, cycles of creation and destruction, and the ultimate fate of nested universes, continuing the cinematic exploration of infinite, interwoven reality. This section investigates the cyclical interplay of entropy creation and destruction, revealing how these forces drive the evolution of universes and shape the cinematic rhythm of existence. The narration opens with sweeping visuals of stars igniting and dying, galaxies colliding, and black holes consuming matter, illustrating that creation and destruction are inseparably intertwined. Viewers are invited to perceive entropy not as mere decay, but as a transformative process that enables complexity, evolution, and renewal. The contrast between destruction's apparent chaos and the emergent beauty of creation evokes awe, tension, and profound reflection on the impermanence and resilience of cosmic structures. The section delves into the scientific principles of entropy. Thermodynamic laws, cosmic expansion, and the arrow of time are visualized through cinematic metaphors, rippling heat maps, cascading energy flows, and decaying structures giving rise to new forms. The narration emphasizes that entropy drives the universe toward disorder at the micro level, yet simultaneously enables emergent complexity at larger scales. Stars, planets, and life itself arise from processes of energy dissipation and transformation, framing destruction as a necessary precursor to creation and giving audiences a fresh, emotionally resonant perspective on universal change. Stellar and galactic cycles are explored as prime examples of cosmic entropy and renewal. Visualizations depict massive stars fusing elements, exploding as supernovae, and dispersing enriched matter to seed new star systems. Galaxies merge and reorganize, black holes devour matter while shaping surrounding structures, and cosmic filaments realign over eons. The narration draws attention to the elegant patterns underlying these cycles, showing that creation and destruction operate as complementary forces, sculpting the universe with rhythm and precision. Cinematic contrasts between explosive energy releases and serene cosmic structures enhance both drama and comprehension. Entropy's role in life and evolution is highlighted. The section illustrates how biological systems emerge from energetic gradients, how ecosystems self-organize, and how evolution exploits disorder to generate adaptation and complexity. Visual sequences juxtapose cellular activity, ecosystems in flux, and natural disasters, underscoring that creation and destruction are fundamental principles, not only of matter but of life itself. The narration emphasizes that entropy is not merely a destructive force, but a creative engine driving systems toward innovation, diversity, and resilience. Philosophical and existential implications deepen engagement. If entropy governs all things, human existence is part of the same cosmic rhythm, oscillating between creation and decay. Cinematic sequences show human societies rising and falling, forests regenerating after fire, and civilizations transforming over millennia, echoing patterns observed on galactic scales. The narration encourages reflection on impermanence, resilience, and the continuity of life and matter, framing destruction as an essential element of cosmic storytelling rather than mere loss. Quantum and cosmological perspectives are integrated. The section explores how vacuum fluctuations, black hole dynamics, and the expansion of space contribute to cycles of entropy and renewal. Visual metaphors depict energy fields rippling, particles annihilating and emerging, and space-time bending to accommodate the flow of matter and energy. The narration highlights that, even at the universe's most fundamental levels, destruction and creation are intertwined, producing structures, patterns, and phenomena that sustain the cinematic narrative of cosmic evolution. Cinematic pacing reinforces narrative impact. Slow, contemplative sequences of decaying stars and collapsing structures alternate with rapid bursts of cosmic fireworks, supernovae, gamma-ray bursts, and galaxy collisions, mirroring the tension and rhythm of creation and destruction. This dynamic flow sustains audience engagement while reinforcing the section's core theme. Entropy is both destructive and generative, chaotic and ordered, ephemeral and eternal. The section also explores implications for the ultimate fate of universes. Concepts such as heat-death, the Big Crunch, and cyclical cosmologies are presented, illustrating that creation and destruction may operate on scales beyond human comprehension. Visualizations depict universes expanding into cold darkness, collapsing into singularities, and regenerating anew, emphasizing that entropy drives both endings and beginnings. The narration frames these possibilities within the cinematic metaphor of an infinite film, where each frame dissolves and reappears in a continuous cycle, heightening emotional resonance and intellectual curiosity. By the end of this section, viewers grasp the profound role of entropy in shaping the cosmos, recognizing that destruction and creation are inseparable, complementary forces driving evolution, complexity, and renewal. The narration evokes awe, reflection, and a sense of connection to universal rhythms, preparing the audience for the final sections exploring the implications of these cosmic principles for existence, perception, and the ultimate cinematic narrative of reality. This concluding section weaves together all previous concepts to present the universe as an infinite cinematic film, where every moment, particle, and consciousness is a frame in a vast, interwoven narrative. The narration opens with sweeping visuals of galaxies stretching into infinity, quantum particles flickering like pixels, and human life interlaced with cosmic patterns, emphasizing the interconnectedness of all scales. Viewers are invited to contemplate existence itself as both scripted and emergent, where every choice, every fluctuation, and every event contributes to the unfolding story of the cosmos. The contrast between our perception of linear life and the infinite expanse of possibilities evokes awe, introspection, and a profound sense of wonder. The section revisits key concepts: the universe as a potential simulation, cosmic patterns and hidden order, fundamental constants, emergent complexity, consciousness, parallel universes, and recursive realities. Cinematic visuals tie these threads together, illustrating how laws, structures, and phenomena interconnect to create a coherent narrative. The narration emphasizes that understanding these principles allows humanity to see life not as random or isolated, but as part of a grand tapestry where every frame resonates with meaning and potential. This synthesis reinforces both intellectual and emotional engagement, leaving viewers with a sense of cosmic scale and personal relevance. Philosophical reflections deepen the narrative. If our universe is one frame in an infinite film, questions arise about purpose, free will, and the role of consciousness in perceiving and shaping reality. Cinematic sequences juxtapose human experiences, decisions, creativity, and relationships, with cosmic phenomena highlighting the resonance between individual action and universal structure. The narration challenges viewers to consider that awareness itself may be a mechanism through which the universe observes, interprets, and evolves, bridging the subjective and the cosmic. Scientific and cinematic perspectives converge. Visual metaphors show timelines of cosmic events, branching possibilities, and nested realities unfolding simultaneously, creating a sense of fluidity and continuity. The narration underscores that the infinite film is not merely metaphorical, whether through the laws of physics, quantum mechanics, or emergent complexity. Reality exhibits patterns, order, and recursion that mirror cinematic storytelling. This framing reinforces engagement by connecting abstract scientific ideas to intuitive, emotionally resonant imagery. The section examines existential implications. Humanity's place within the infinite film is portrayed as both fleeting and significant. Each life contributes a unique frame, each consciousness a perspective, and each decision a branching path. Cinematic sequences illustrate parallel experiences, multiversal possibilities, and recursive echoes of events, evoking both humility and empowerment. The narration emphasizes that recognizing our embeddedness in this infinite narrative encourages curiosity, creativity, and ethical reflection, connecting the cinematic spectacle of the universe to personal meaning and responsibility. Entropy, creation, and destruction are revisited in the context of the infinite film. Visualizations depict cycles of stellar birth and death, planetary evolution, and life emerging and fading, illustrating how endings and beginnings sustain the continuity of the cinematic narrative. The narration highlights that impermanence does not diminish significance. Rather, it enhances the drama, tension, and beauty of existence, echoing themes explored in previous sections. The contrast between ephemeral human experience and eternal cosmic processes reinforces awe, contemplation, and emotional resonance. Cinematic contrasts and pacing maintain engagement. Slow, expansive shots of cosmic vistas are interwoven with rapid sequences of quantum fluctuations, branching universes, and life's emergent complexity, mirroring the interplay between continuity and change, chaos and order. This dynamic rhythm mirrors the infinite film itself, emphasizing that reality unfolds simultaneously on multiple scales and timescales, and that viewers are both spectators and participants in this unfolding narrative. The section closes with a reflective philosophical tone. The infinite film metaphor suggests that existence is a living story, where every frame, from the smallest particle to the largest galaxy, is interconnected, meaningful, and imbued with potential. Cinematic sequences depict humanity gazing at stars, quantum interactions shimmering, and galaxies spiraling into infinity, leaving viewers with a sense of wonder, curiosity, and a renewed appreciation for the depth, complexity, and beauty of the universe. The narration encourages embracing both the mystery and the meaning inherent in being part of an infinite, unfolding cosmic narrative. By the end of this section, the audience is left contemplating a universe that is vast, interconnected, and cinematic in scope. The narration evokes awe, intellectual reflection, and emotional resonance, providing a fitting conclusion to the exploration of simulations, hidden order, emergent complexity, consciousness, parallel universes, recursion, and the cycles of creation and destruction. Viewers are encouraged to perceive themselves as participants in the infinite film of existence, carrying the cinematic story forward through observation, awareness, and action.